Hello, everyone. Welcome to another GSG Talk. How are you, my friends? I am joined today by the Galaxy Electric, the Galaxy Electric and Mr. X. This is GSG Talk number 14. I think that's a lot of GSG Talks, the place where we get to know the shrimps, what's behind the shrimps, what happens inside the shrimps' heads, and all of that. How are you guys? How's everybody feeling?
Doing well.
Yeah. Chilling.
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for having us.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. So we've had Mr. X a couple of weeks ago, but he had a bad deal. He had a bad deal because he joined in the first, I think it was the second or the third time we did this, and it wasn't so cool. We had a lot of technical issues. It was a shorter format. I think my microphone broke like 10 times during the interview. So in order to make up for that, we got him to join us. And he's also a partner of yours. So we thought this would make a nice combo.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Please, my pleasure. So the way we're gonna do this is the way we always do it. When I ask a question, the first to answer it can be the Galaxy Electric, the folks on the left side of the screen, and then let's go to Mr. X. And probably if you've seen Mr. X edition, you're seeing it backwards.
Yeah,
Galaxy Electric and
got it.
But the folks that are seeing the stream are seeing it that way. If you've seen the show with Mr. X, probably some of the questions have already been answered, but what the hell, we're gonna do it anyway. So let's start by your name. What's the backstory behind both of your names?
Gus, do you want to tell the truth or do you want to make up something?
Well, now there's this discrepancy as to what the truth is versus a lie.
Or a more exciting story?
Do you mean like our like Augustus Green is an artist name for me? It's not my birth name.
Yeah, we're just going to be extremely honest.
That's okay.
My name is Jacqueline, by the way, just in case anybody doesn't know. I'm Jacqueline Augustus. We're the Galaxy Electric. A lot of names. It's a lot of names to grab onto here. The Galaxy Electric, I know sometimes people have like a Twitch streamer name that's different than our artist name, but that's also our artist name. And it has been since, I think, about 10 years now. We've been working under this name and releasing music as the Galaxy Electric. And it is something we started when we were living in Los Angeles, and we were kind of forming something. We wanted something new that was inspired by the things that we were really passionate about at the time, which were things like retrofuturism and sci-fi. You know, I would say sort of the 2001: A Space Odyssey kind of stuff, you know, that retro feeling of what they thought the future was going to be. And Gus he likes to name things. So he had this experience where he saw this name and was like, this is what the band name needs to be. He saw it like out in the world.
I was taking a crap. And I saw it on a vent, like right in front of me in this bathroom. Like I literally looked down and on this vent said Galaxy Electric. And I was like, I'm in a meditative place right now. I might as well, I really like this name. So I snapped a shot of it and actually texted it to Jack like immediately, and I was like, hey, what do you think about this for a band name while I'm still on the toilet?
Oh my god.
And that's how the name was born.
Got so real so fast. I have the photos still. I can share it.
I sent it to you recently. It's our Discogs. Like, if you go to our Discogs page, it's actually this vent. And I was like, how did Discogs get my
how did they find it?
My taking a crap photo.
I don't know if we can show Augustus taking a crap or we'll get banned.
No, not like it's from my POV.
Okay. Yeah.
Just the thing, just this like metal thing on the wall that said Galaxy Electric.
Okay. Cool. How about you, Mr. X? Were you shitting yourself when you...
No, I
Oh, just to be clear, it was a healthy bowel movement. It wasn't like I wasn't shitting myself.
Oh, okay.
that
I'm
sounds a
sorry.
lot
I'm
more
sorry
dramatic.
because I'm not a native English speaker. I don't know the difference.
No, it was a good one. It was a nice one.
I would expect Gus to be so excited that he couldn't hold it and shit happened. But still, let's be glad that you found the name even when the consequences or the circumstances were not as suitable. Still, we are in TOS territory so far because we won't show the pictures, but still, it's the surprising story at the start. But let's move on to my name. It doesn't have to do with shit or some other bodily stuff.
man.
No, it's actually very Twitch related because the WMRX name has been my username ever since on Twitch, and the Mr. X persona was given to me by, I don't know, a gaming streamer or a variety streamer or so. I can't really remember. But they started to pronounce my name, WMRX, like, oh, hello, Mr. X. And it stuck. And she was the first back then, and suddenly other streamers started, because I didn't stream back at the time. I was just a viewer and supporter. But they referred to Mr. X as the name, and that is how this name was invented, basically. It was just an accident, more or less.
Okay, cool. And how did you guys get a hold of the Golden Shrimp Guild? What was it that showed you the ways of the guild?
It was probably Mr. X, who also, we only know him as Mr. X because everybody was calling him Mr. X in the chat when we were just users. So similar experience.
I thought Bardic
you're right. It was
Bardic bounty hunted us.
It was Bardic.
Oh, nice. On last week's episode, both of our guests were also bounty hunted by Bardic. So he can be
This is the way.
the bounty perspiration.
Yes. He found us during one of our movie night streams and told us about the Golden Shrimp Guild. But then I think once he sort of like passed us off. He's a bounty hunter. So he just like finds you and ferries you off to someone else. And then Mr. X was the one who kind of helped us understand the Discord and Synthon and just helped us navigate the whole experience. And then from there, it's just getting into everybody's streams and realizing how cool everybody is.
That was how long ago?
About a year ago.
It was the 909 Fest was the first thing we did. So it was around that time. So almost a year.
Coming up on a year anniversary.
Nice. And how about you, Mr. X? How did you get a hold of the guild?
I was streaming, I think, in 2020 or so, and Actitect joined my stream, and I've known Actitect for some months back then. I knew that he was a synth streamer, and I didn't know about the Golden Shrimp Guild back then, but he messaged me after the stream, or maybe even in the stream chat, and said, do you know about Synfest, as the name was back then? And I said, no, but it sounds interesting, so tell me more. And then he started to talk about the Golden Shrimp Guild. He invited me to the Discord, and the rest is history.
Nice. How long have you guys been streaming historically?
We started in March 2022, right? I think.
Shortly before Bardic found us.
Yeah, so it was March when we started, and then the Shrimp Guild found us like late August, early September. So it's been a little over a year now.
Oh, that's nice.
And I started streaming initially in 2018, but had some kind of break to somehow redefine the setup and everything. And my proper streaming started in, I think, 2019 or 2020, somehow a year and a half later or so.
Nice. Do you guys remember your first stream?
I feel like the first stream that we really ever did, we like didn't want anyone to be there because we thought we didn't know what we were doing, and so we like did it for a little bit and then like turned it off and like deleted it. We were just like so nervous about it.
Yeah.
But the first like streams that we did, we were doing just like in our studio, like trying to make tracks. Like we weren't performing Dallas jamming or anything. We were just the painful like watching paint dry process of gathering samples and like working through the production side of it. And we would do that for like 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. Because we thought if we just stream every day, like everything we're already doing, we'll get used to like what this is all about rather than creating something else to stream.
It was more like a reality TV show.
What we were already doing.
I would say like we just were like, hey, well, let's just put the camera on, you know, and whatever happens, that's what we'll do.
It was really interesting. And then like as we started to make tracks, then we started to play them, and then it sort of became more of a playing music stream. We had been live streaming on Facebook from like 2019 to 2022. Like that's where we were doing our live streaming. So we were doing like our drone streams on there. So the idea of live streaming and playing music on live wasn't new to us, but Twitch itself was so overwhelming. It felt like, you know, we're not gamers. What are all these emotes? Like it took us a really long time to figure all that stuff out and to feel comfortable with like changing scenes and using OBS and all that stuff. So
I think we talked about doing Twitch for about a year.
Yeah, we did. We spent a year just like using it, like as a user, just going on streams and trying to understand what it was all about.
Before we ripped the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Finally.
That's nice. An easy in. How about you, Mr. X? Do you remember your first stream ever?
Actually, my first stream even is available on YouTube, but for now as a private video, because it was just basically a public test of the setup and just to get things working and see how Twitch actually works when you have the live stream going, which is very different from just setting up something in OBS. So I think I played for 1 hour or so, or maybe even less, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. And the setup was very different back then. I mean, it was 5 years ago, and it is still the same room that I'm in, but the setup was much smaller back then and not as hands-on as it is now, because I had some things arranged all over the room. So I had to move the camera. Actually, it was a simple Logitech webcam back then, which doesn't really show a deep view into the room. So what I had to do was move the camera manually, place it somewhere, and then play. But I quite quickly changed it to a proper setup with 2 cameras, and now I'm having 3 cameras that you will probably see later in this stream. But yes, I still remember the stream. The music is almost the same noodling that I still do today, but people still seem to enjoy it somehow.
Nice. That brings me to my next question. I think everyone in the chat actually knows you, but just as an exercise, can you describe your stream to someone that don't know who you are?
Do you want to take this one?
Sure. We basically I would say we practice DAW-less jamming in a few different styles. It can range from doing like ambient stuff with just the modular. I use 4U or Buchla format. And then also like we have sort of like an up-tempo electro breakbeat thing and kind of a down-tempo more like Boards of Canada vibe. And always sort of using the same instruments, but in, you know, different styles with Jack's awesome vocals.
And you also do the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have a movie night that is just sort of like, hey, let's take a load off and enjoy a movie that would normally be something that we'd be inspired by for our music. Let's enjoy that with the audience. Nice.
What's the weirdest movie you've seen on that movie night?
I'll let you take this one, Jack.
Oh, that's really hard because they're all pretty out there. I mean, that one, like Valley of the Dragons, was pretty hard to watch.
Quatermass is weird.
I mean, the ones that are weird that I like are like good weird, and then there's bad weird where they're just like using maybe like practical effects that are just really low budget, or it's just like really problematic where they're like making like jokes that are just like they are from that era, just make you cringe. So some of them are like hard to watch, and some of them are weird in a way that's like inspiring. So it can really range.
How do you feel about cringy jokes, Mr. X?
What is this question actually? I mean, anybody who knows me, and it even goes way more back than me making music, that I was known for bad puns on Twitch. And that's actually how I got my name. It wasn't the music. The people just knew me because I was making bad puns in every chat that I was in. And so cringy jokes, bad puns, dead jokes, you name it, it's all there.
Can you share some of those with us?
Do a stand-up routine right now.
Yeah, or maybe
give us your 5.
maybe
I'm not like Rodney Dangerfield who can just shoot them at everybody, because my jokes are always out, just happening in the situation. I mean, Jack and Gus know it because we met in Berlin and it was basically the pun fest every day. Also, some people in chat were there as well, so they can tell that the jokes just happen. You can't make them up, and they just naturally happen somehow.
maybe if the stars align today, we'll get some jokes.
You might get a taste.
Oh. And if not, there's a pun bot. There's a pun bot on your channel.
That's true.
Right.
I have the pun bot going, although it's not a bot actually, because you just have to trigger the puns, but Butspot.
Oh no!
I still think that
You are the
Butspot-
responsible for Butspot.
No, I'm not, because Womba is the guy behind Butspot.
Oh,
I
no.
said it here. Everybody knows now.
Hold on,
but-
I have to ban Womba real quick. Sorry. No. Sorry. I interrupted you.
I wish I was responsible for Butspot, because hands down, this is the best bot on Twitch.
No,
I don't know what that is.
No, you don't want to
the
know.
butt one?
You don't want to know. No. Damn you, Wombra. I will hunt you. I will hunt you wherever you are. We had a question from the audience. Remember, guys in the audience, if any of you have a question for our guest, you can do it. You can drop it there in the chat. Please tag Golden Shrimp Guild so I see it. We had a question from Bose Modular, who is a regular questioner on the chat. He says, what 2 performers or bands influence your music the most? He wants 2. That's very specific. But if you have that in mind.
I mean, I would have to say like the Beatles and early Pink Floyd are like one of the most like deep-rooted influences that we have, because we both experienced them at that childhood age, you know, that you just can't deny that that's part of what inspires you to keep at it. But then, you know, the band Broadcast, another British band. I guess we're really into British bands. So probably just like any UK artist is probably going to be one that we're inspired by for whatever reason. We both have that influence, even though we didn't like grow up together. So that was a like thing that brought us together when we met. Did you want to say something different?
No, that pretty much, I think you're right. There, even as far as electronic music goes, I'm inspired by a lot of electronic artists that are based out of the UK. And Germany, I would say, is probably a close second for me, influence-wise.
Like
Kraftwerk, Anthony Rother, and then like Two Lone Swordsmen, Keith Tenniswood, the late Andrew Weatherall out of the UK. Some of my favorites.
Nice. How about you, Mr. X? What 2 artists or more have influenced you?
I can break it down to 2, because first of all, my interest in synthesizers started when I started to check out the music of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. It's a 70s prog rock band that probably some people know in chat. Keith Emerson was the keyboarder of this band, and he basically was the one who brought the Moog synth on stage, and not just the mini Moog, but the huge, massive modular one. And the second influence is Klaus Schulze, the synth musician from Berlin, who's also sadly not among the living anymore. His 70s albums were basically the starting point of Berlin School, this kind of genre that I'm playing on stream most of the time. And basically in parallel, back then in the 70s, Tangerine Dream, of course, who also were from Berlin, or still are from Berlin, of course. And they also established their style of Berlin School music, but they had this very sequencer-driven music going on, whereas Klaus Schulze had more some kind of symphonic sound, I would say.
Nice. We'd like to talk gear a little bit, if that's okay. What's your favorite gear? Well, let's start from the beginning. Can you show us, or can you talk us through your gear? The one you use for streams, of course.
Oh gosh. Go for it. We can't really, I mean, you can sort of see what's around us, but
I can tell you the major
you don't
players.
have the scene changer going, so I can't show you up close too much.
Well, I'll tell you about a new piece. I just recently acquired an Electron analog rhythm MK2 that I haven't even opened yet. And I plan on pairing that with the Octatrack for like drums and breaks duties. I use a Nord modular very heavily. And I sequence that with the Squark Pyramid. And then I'm sending clock to the Buchla system, which
you can sort of see.
You can sort of see, but
shining over there.
It's something that we'll get an angle of if you watch one of our streams. We have
which we're streaming right after this.
A second camera going to that. But that's pretty much it. Like those are the major players, I would say. And then I'm actually going to be playing bass guitar today, which is an instrument that I played really heavily on our first album as the Galaxy Electric.
Nice. How many albums do you guys have?
We have 3 full albums. The first one is more of a full band. The second one is like our tape experimentation album where we did everything live to tape. And the third one is a full drone.
More modular heavy too.
Real heavy on the Buchla.
Nice.
Nice.
Where would people have to go to find out all about your albums, your music, and your stuff?
TheGalaxyElectric.com should have everything. You can go straight to our shop, which is TheGalaxyElectricShop.com if you just want to see what we have that you can obtain. Also our Bandcamp as well.
Nice. Let's pin that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. How about you, Mr. X?
Okay.
What's your
talking
gear?
About gear? When I start talking about my setup, it usually takes 24 hours to talk about one instrument.
Show us everything.
Yeah, I mean, you can see some stuff, but Kid Pochoclo asked me when we set up the things here to also provide another view, and I hope that this works out somehow. Let's try it. Let's take a look at this cam. Like, you can see me here, and you can see all kinds of stuff. That's basically the left side of my setup with all the modular gear and also some out-of-the-box synths, like this red one is the SH101 clone from the Bad Bee company that most of you might know. But I have a mix of different modules here, very classic ones, low-pass filters and all this kinds of stuff. And a Korg MS-20 basically on top there, which I sometimes play. And my control keyboards are also here. The Keystep 37 and the Keystep Pro in the back. Also the Apex, not Apex like the French say it, the Apex from Squarp, which is my new master controller where I control all tracks. And it also has the master clock. So that's basically the left side, and also more stuff going on, 2 sequencers and a Prophet as well that I got from Dictabeat. And to move on to the right side, you can also see all the stuff that's basically obscured when my streamlights are on, but there's a lot of family stuff basically in the background. But still, this is basically here the keyboard side, the right side of my setup, with the centerpiece for me at least, being the Moog Little Fatty. It was the first synth I bought back in 2009. And below this, the Nord Electro 4D or something, also some years old already, but still a versatile keyboard with all the sounds like Mellotron, string synthesizers, all models that are basically known, and a range of other polyphonic synths, but also all polyphonic, basically, except for the Moog. Everything is more or less polyphonic on here. And off screen, there are some drum machines that I also use, like a Drum Brute Impact, the 808 clone, again from the Bad Bee Company, and a clone from the CR78 Roland drum machine by, what's the manufacturer? I have to check, but so this is just a quick glimpse of the setup that I'm using.
Nice. Do you have any favorite piece of gear? Is there something in there that's just the diva of all this?
Actually, the Moog is still my favorite because it's just exactly the sound that I want when I think of a synthesizer. And I mean, you could ask, why do you have so much more stuff then? I can't even answer that question, but still, the Moog is the centerpiece and the starting point. And the sound doesn't get boring even after so many years now.
That's nice. Guys, have you ever saw when you weren't streaming, did you saw any artist that was streaming that got you into streaming? Because streaming is not something very natural, at least not now. It's something more common, but a couple of years ago, especially before the pandemic, it wasn't so common. Did you saw someone that got you into the thing? Did you saw someone that made you say, oh, you can do cool stuff in there? It can be from the guild, or it cannot be from the guild, either one.
I don't know if I can think of someone specific. I think, like I said, we were streaming on Facebook before we did Twitch. So just the idea of live streaming came from the fact that we were playing live a lot.
Okay.
And when we stopped touring, we wanted to still be able to play without like having to take our whole studio with us. And then obviously the pandemic and all that stuff. So it was sort of out of wanting to stay connected with our audience and keep trying new things. But I think really when I started seeing on Twitch, like that people had so much interactivity and they were switching scenes and like all the stuff going on the screen, like it felt so much more interactive than what was going on Facebook. Obviously that doesn't really need to be said that Twitch is better than Facebook for streaming, but obviously the OBS interface was something that I was like, I need to understand what that is and I need to know how to use it. And that's what really sucked us into like, oh, this is what streaming is really about, is being able to be more interactive rather than just like turning the camera on and doing something, you know?
Nice.
It's like more creative.
So you said you've been a band for 10 years now. How long have you been a couple? If we can share that information.
Oh, I think like actually it'll be like 18 years next month.
Wow, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I can't stand someone for a day, let alone 18 years. How about you?
Well, yeah, just anyone, I would feel that way too.
Okay. How about you, Mr. X? Did you saw someone that actually got you into streaming?
It's back when I started streaming, still the Twitch music scene was somehow forming. So you only had a very low number of actual music streamers on Twitch. It was a very strong gaming platform back then. And those first streamers basically were the ones that gave you the idea that, yes, you can stream from your studio, or some even stream music from the living room or bedroom or so, basically sitting on the sofa and playing guitar or something, or playing keyboard. And I thought, why not take this a step further and have the studio and stream from there? Also, some people started as well. I think the main influence was basically a streamer that I actually somehow brought to Twitch. Sunny Halla is the name. I'll just write her name in chat. She is now one of the leading music streamers on Twitch, actually. And back then, I invited her and said, "There's this website called Twitch," and she was singing on Periscope. This was the streaming service
Whoa.
for Twitter back then. And I said, "Well, Periscope sound quality is so bad, and you're such a good singer. You need something better than this," because it was really low bitrate and all of this stuff. And I said, "Twitch has a great bitrate for audio, so why don't you try to stream on there?" And she started there. She took some time to establish her channel, but then she skyrocketed because she is such a great singer. And she basically then asked me, "Why don't you stream your electronic music on Twitch?" And so I gave it a try back in 2018, like I said. And she basically was one of the main influences. But back then, like I said, the whole scene was evolving. It was just great to see all the people starting there and all the genres that started evolving there as well. Because back then, only very few people played electronic music, like Actitech, and those who started Synthfest as these Synth Afternoon or Synth Saturday was the name, I think. Even before that, everything was evolving back then. Totally unlike the situation is now, where you just have music without end, basically.
Oh. And speaking about your electronic music, you'll be dropping a song soon.
Yes. Basically, tomorrow, there is this streamer called Callsign Scarecrow. He's a singer-songwriter from the United Kingdom, and he had this idea some years ago of a collaboration lottery. So he just asked some streamers to take part, and then he has 30 or 40 streamers, and then he picks pairs, and those people have to write a song and produce a song in a given amount of time, like 6 weeks or so, or 2 months, and then they present the song on stream, or basically the produced song is played on his stream. And the last time, or actually the currently running lottery, we both were paired, and this song that we created will drop tomorrow on his stream and will be premiered there. And yes, it was the start of a collaboration, actually, because we realized that there's so much more than just this one song. So expect an EP maybe in autumn or in winter, because things happen fast when the vibe is good, basically. And we totally understand each other, even though our genres are so different. But sometimes things work out very well.
Nice. Can you share the name of the channel where this will be happening?
Yes.
Uh,
I will just Ed Plays Jazz is a friend of Callsign and me as well.
Oh, okay.
And also Ed is one of the streamers that I've known for a very long time, much longer than the synth scene, basically. And yes.
Sorry about that, Ed Plays Jazz. We as a precaution, we only let links from moderators, because every now and then someone comes and drops unwanted links. So anyway, hey, there's something that we've never discussed on GSG Talks, but I think it's a good time to start, because in a way, both of you three, really understand the logistics of music. Other than music, there's distribution, there's merchandising, there's community management. There's a lot of aspects that don't involve only making music. So what I wanted, it's a very broad question, the one that I have, but what do you think that a person that is only focused on music should see or should investigate if they want to open up their perspective on the whole thing? I know there's a lot of things you can do, but which one you say would be the one that pays off the most, the ones that is most rewarding, the one that is cost less effort? Well, you can maybe play with the question.
So I guess what you're asking is, like, how would you take your music from just something that you're enjoying for yourself and maybe streaming to something that you actually have like an audience that you're selling, that you're building a community around?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the question?
Yeah. I don't really know my question. It was so broad, not even I understand it.
I think like the first thing that always comes to mind that I think people are the most afraid to do is to communicate with people through email. So obviously I think that the Twitch chat and the Discord and, you know, people finding your music on Bandcamp is always a good place to start. But if you really want to have a long-term relationship with people, regardless of if the platform, you know, maybe doesn't let you do what you want to do or it changes, you know, I think we found this when we thought, oh, we just need to make a Facebook page. This is back in like 2012. We just need to make a Facebook page and put our music out on Bandcamp and we're good. And then all of a sudden everybody was like, Facebook is dead. Get off Facebook. You have to go to this place. You have to go here. You have to go to YouTube. There's just so many places and it's hard for, I mean, even for me, I'll be like, I'll open my phone to go to somebody's link and then like a notification pops up and now I'm back in my calendar and then I forget what I was even looking for, right? But I think what we've found is that creating a way for people to get to know you, what you're about, and tell them the story about like what community you're building and like why it should matter to them. If you can do that in a way that they can connect with you over email, that's like something that you're always going to be able to connect with them about. And I've just found that like those are the people that like communicate with us the deepest, that have been with us the longest. And it's not just like build your email list, get everybody's email. It's like you have to give value, you know, you have to like create relationships with people and, you know, let them know why it matters, like why what you're doing is so challenging in this world in the way that things are right now, and also like how they can best support you and help build whatever community you're building. So I think it's really important to know like why you're doing music and why you want to build a community and an audience for it. So I think that's more important than anything you're going to do with it. Like any t-shirts you want to sell or any tours you want to go on, knowing why what you do is important to the right people who are going to care about it.
That's
beyond just like the cool gear you have or whatever.
That's a really nice answer and a very hard one to answer, because why am I doing music? Because I like making beautiful sounds. That's not enough.
It can be like really beneficial to you as an artist too, to like really get to the core of like what about what you're doing is so, I don't want to say special or unique or just like maybe connected to other people or other artists that are also doing it. But like, what about what you're doing, or what space are you creating for people? What specific style are you doing that, or what are you using, or what are you about? Or like, it could even be like about who you are as a person, you know, like the reason you make art is because of something about you as a person. To create that as a story that you can share with people so that they can more easily connect with you in a way so that when you do want to make albums that you release, or you do want to make merch, or you do want to go on a tour, like that groundwork is already laid for why they should even care about those other things.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Augustus, you were going to add something? That's a very nice answer. Thank you, Jack.
No, I was just like really, Jack nailed it. I really appreciated that. I thought it was a great answer.
I mean, this is sort of like a very big, deep conversation to have that's very, very personal to every artist. Like, there is not a cookie cutter answer. Mm-hmm. But I do think the thing that would stretch people the most, if they do want more from their audience, if they do want to do more with their art, that creating email communications, not just getting people's emails, but figuring out what you're going to share with them over email on a regular basis is really, that really stretches you.
Yeah. Spamming is a real art form, right? Because you want to communicate yourself, but you don't want to make people hate you. So it's it can really like shine a light on the things that you're feeling challenged about, and it can really like help you grow, I think, as an artist, and as sort of like owning your art form and your music and your artist name, your brand, whatever you want to call it, like owning that space for yourself and knowing that you bring value to other people and letting them connect with you. It can really challenge you.
And it can be something that you can constantly be refining, like we're always having this conversation, and it changes I would say microscopically, but, throughout, the time that we've been doing music, it sort of morphs into what it is presently, and so it can sort of always be a growing, changing element, who you are and how you connect with your audience.
Nice. How about you, Mr. X? I know you maybe don't have such a big logistic behind your project, but I do know that you contribute as a moderator for other communities. So what's your vision on this matter?
I mean, it's always difficult to get into scenes, to build a network, but it's so crucial, because what I've learned, especially when starting to stream on Twitch and getting to know all the people from the different communities, is that the most crucial part you can have around you as an artist is a network, not just consisting of fans, but also consisting of other musicians, so that you can just talk with others, like, what about your streaming setup details? What about the DAWs that you use, or the instruments, or something like this? And I mean, when you look at how Jack and Gus organize all of this, like the huge Facebook group that they have, and all the emailing in the background, and having this kind of new fan club established, and so that's a level that I just look up to, because it's so professional and they can reach so many people so easily. It takes a lot of time to get there, and I still don't know the secret. I mean, all you have to do, and something that you have to do constantly, is to reach out to other people, to care about your fans, and to somehow understand what makes people, or what brings people to listen to your music. Because it might happen that you're just one of the lucky people on some kind of Spotify playlist, and that by this way your music is heard all the time. I know a lot of people that do basically only this. They communicate with Spotify curators and get their music posted, and this is basically their music career. Then there are others who like to perform live and who are constantly on tour, maybe in their town, maybe in the region they are living, or maybe even internationally. There are so many ways, and there isn't this one way that you can go. You just have to try and see what is your music about, like Jacqueline said. What do you want to speak, or what do you want to tell with your music? What do you want to speak about in your music? Find people that care about this, find fans, find mutuals, other musicians that you can talk about the professional side or the background, and establish a network. That's basically what I think is most important, that you have this network going on that you can rely on, and that also inspires you in some way. Because, for example, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the logistics of the setup basically is inspired by other streams that I saw. For example, Neon House is also a streamer from the Golden Shrimp Guild. He had this Jasper's rack with all the synthesizers neatly arranged, very hands-on, very easy to reach. And then, for example, I said, okay, I need this rack, this Jasper's rack, to get my synths organized. And all of a sudden I had this basically one-point setup where I'm just standing in front of the keyboards and the synthesizers and can reach anything without moving a lot, basically, because all is in front of me. And that's just one example of the inspiration that happens when you have this network going.
Nice. Okay. See, it's always nice to bring new subjects to the talks. We always get some interesting answers. And we have 10 minutes to go. If anyone wants to drop a question in the chat, please do it. And we will be rating our guests. The Galaxy Electric will be performing after this chat. So maybe you guys want to log off a couple of minutes before we end.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, well, you're not using OBS, so that's good for you, because you only have to turn on OBS and that's it. It's a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think it should be okay.
A couple of minutes before it's okay? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
What's the weirdest thing you saw on Twitch? You ever saw on Twitch? You can take a second. And
right off the bat, I'm thinking of this thing that we saw way before we started doing Twitch, where Paul Scheer, who's one of our favorite comedians and actors and hosts of a podcast, How Did This Get Made? has a Twitch channel, and he featured.
Oh yeah, one day they were just watching other people's streams. He was like, "Who's live right now? Let's just watch what people are doing."
You know what I'm gonna say?
yeah,
The person that was doing ASMR, and they were basically like licking
the ear licking, yeah,
bi-directional microphone. That was like ears.
yeah.
And it was just the sound of like slurping around on somebody's ears.
It was, I mean, she's like super famous at this point, but I can't remember her name right now. I'm sure everybody knows.
That tripped me out. I was almost like, do we want to do this Twitch thing?
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're trying too hard. We're trying way too hard. We should just be like doing something this simple and crazy. But
then you're the ear licker.
But then you're the ear licker.
Yeah.
So you gotta really weigh that against like what do you want to be known for versus like what is the silliest, easiest thing.
I would tack that on to our earlier answer.
It's like, oh that. But at the time we were like, what in the actual is happening right now? Like people were like, we didn't understand what subs were even. So it's like, for anybody who subs, I'll lick your ear. And she was like doing it for that person. So like the head, with the ears on it, it was like, she was like talking to that person and like acting like it was their head.
Ooh, so creepy.
Yes. I remember the first time I saw the ear lickers, which were very big. were very big last year. I don't see them anymore. Okay.
It's already over.
I don't know.
It's already over.
Yeah, too much earwax.
The bubble burst.
Yeah. Yeah. They got
hard to maintain.
There's gotta be a sanity issue also if you're licking plastic all day, right?
Oh,
So something has to.
Oh, what is her name? I'm gonna have to find it. She's super famous. She's like makes the most money on Twitch of like anybody.
Shout out
like
the
in the
ear
top
licker.
10.
How about you, Mr. X? I know you have an answer for this. What's the weirdest thing you saw on Twitch?
The weirdest thing, I mean, I could say it was one of Womba's streams, because if you see Womba's streams, it's always something that is out there, not just because of the music, because it's more about the visuals that are happening, like those video loops and the harsh music going on, harsh in the most positive way, actually. But still, I can understand that ASMR sometimes seems a bit weird, or also these hot tub streams or hot tub ASMR streams, basically ear licking in a bathtub. But it's so interesting to see that many ASMR streamers get partnered easily because they have a massive audience that simply like those kind of tingly sounds, as they put it. And even the Golden Shrimp Guild has a few ASMR streamers in there.
Really?
Who somehow combine ambient music and ASMR, but not by ear licking. At least I haven't seen this yet. But still, they have those soft sounds combined with synth pads or something like this. I mean, J-Rob the Human is the best example, and he's also a partner. And he has this Eno approach, like totally inspired by Brian Eno, to rely on minimal music, but also sounds that just happen, and then he loops them, like in those tape loops that Brian Eno used in the 70s. And that's basically the mix between ASMR and ambient, where you have this slow transition to basically only field recordings, I would say. But still, the weirdest stream, I think the visual aspect is very important if you want to have it weird. And I mean, Womba, you are in the chat. I saw you earlier, and I just mean it in the best way possible, because your streams are so different from the stuff that we know from the Golden Shrimp Guild, but it's still awesome to watch. It's weird but good. So check it out. Shout out to Womba.
Boost Modular has an idea. He says we should do synth licking. I don't know.
I mean, I was just thinking when Jack and Gus talked about it, that you have those microphones with two ears and you are two people, so you can have the stereo licking going on.
Right. So. Double the experience.
Oh my God.
Yeah. There you go.
That would get very TOS very quick.
We were talking about how to open up the spectrum of the projects. There you go. If you ever run out of ideas. I'm sorry.
I hope this really inspired everyone.
Guys, we are 5 minutes to go, so let's plug. I know we discussed this a little earlier, but we have more viewers now than when we started the talk. So if you wanna tell us when you usually stream, if you have a schedule or something, please share it with us.
Yeah, we stream every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for usually, sometimes it's different, for a show called Synth Friends, which is similar to this, where we have somebody on to talk about, their journey with synths. And sometimes it's just like completely off topic. But what we try to do is talk to somebody who maybe we've never talked to before, but we know like on the internet, and try to make a real connection. And that's been really fun. That's been almost a year now that we've been doing that. So that's every Thursday. Every Saturday, we watch a crazy sci-fi movie, and we vote on that in our Discord. So that's really fun. And then every Sunday, we do the Golden Shrimp Sunday stream.
Who will you have this Thursday as a guest?
Funny enough, we're actually going to be doing the Jedi Raid Trade on this Thursday. So we won't be doing Synth Friends. So I don't want to cross-plug other communities. I don't know how that goes.
Okay.
But
Jedi is a friend of the house.
Jedi is a friend of the shrimps, I guess.
Yeah.
And we've never streamed with them before. So they said we could stream, but only this one slot. And it was when we do Synth Friends. So we said, okay, special Synth Friends this week is us playing music.
Yeah, that's okay. And what movie will you be watching on Saturday?
Well, you have to join our Discord and vote to find out.
Nice.
Yeah, we vote weekly.
How about you, Mr. X?
I stream basically every Monday, 9 p.m. CST, Central European Time, for Modular Monday. It's a 1 hour stream about the modular side of things. Modular Monday is organized by Slaughterhouse. And I also try to have a stream during the weekend, or maybe starting on Friday or so. So 3 streams per week at best, but at least 1 or 2 to somehow have a regular schedule.
Nice. And you also have a Discord community.
Yes, I think I can post it because I'm a mod in this channel.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
The privileged ones.
Privilege or maybe just workaholic, I don't know.
Okay. Hey, guys, do you want to go get ready for your stream?
Yes. Thank you so much for having us. We're going to go set up for our stream so you can
Thanks
raid
a lot.
into us.
Okay.
been a blast.
Mr. X, can you stay and we can chat a little bit while they do their thing?
Of course. No
Good to
problem
see
at all.
everyone. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much, Kid Pochoclo. You're the best.
Please, my pleasure.
See you.
This has been very nice talk. And they are off. Cool.
And they are off.
They
Yes.
are off.
Now it's up to us.
I have a question for you because you shared with us that you've been modding other communities. So I want to hear modding anecdotes.
It's always very tough to be a moderator doing front page streams because then basically Twitch puts the streamer on the front page of their website, obviously, but you will have a massive audience and it's not like war, I would say, but still you really have to have the cup of coffee next to you because you are just constantly moderating, timing out people or giving information to the viewers or something like this. And you can barely concentrate on the actual stream going on. So that's a tough one. And anecdotes, when Twitch introduced this new security feature, this shield feature or which basically shuts down the chat completely and everything.
Yeah.
Even the pro mods that I call my colleagues, they just accidentally clicked the button on a stream with 400 viewers or so, and all of a sudden the whole chat was shut down and nobody could do anything. And nobody of us knew what was happening because this function was introduced just some days ago. So that was a problem, but we could fix it rather quickly. Still, being a moderator really shows you what goes on behind the scenes, and that also streamers actually need the moderators so they can focus on the stuff that they're doing, playing music or whatever, and the moderators just keep an eye on chat or spread information that people ask for, or also take care about the song lists if streamers have a song list going on. I mean, I could do this as well and have a song list, but you know my music, it's not very song friendly.
Yeah, the shutdown thing, I think it happened to me a couple of times, but I think it was because they made the the little button when you entered the Twitch, the stream, the little button, it becomes a big horizontal thing that is like, hey, we have this new feature. Click here if you want to turn it on. Instead of going just the informational stuff. It happened to me a couple of times. So that's, yeah. So Twitch UI development A+, exactly. Who do you moderate for?
I mod for different people. For example, from the synth community, I mod for Sid Heresy. I mod for Toto Robin. I'm modding on this channel here, the Golden Shrimp Guild channel. And then I'm a mod for Sunny Haller as well. I'm a mod for Lisa Cuthbert, also from the synth scene and the singer-songwriter scene. I have actually a few channels where I'm a moderator, just because maybe I have a certain mod experience, but also I know what's important when it comes to modding, just to keep the stream and the chat smooth, and not to have the spam bots posting stuff all the time, but also like sometimes there are rude people who want to insult the streamer or so, or who just want to mock everybody, and those have to be dealt with somehow. I mean, I don't want to sound too German about this, but well, it's like this.
It's kind of strange because you never know who is behind the account. It can be a 30-year-old little fellow, or it can be a grown man with a lot of free time. So you never know. And you don't really have the time to know because things just happen.
You just have to block everybody, and then you're safe that nothing will happen.
Perfect.
If you go this extreme way.
Perfect. Let's end on that note. Block everybody and just enjoy the things like they were in the old days. Okay, everybody, the Galaxy Electric has gone live, so we're gonna go rate them. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Let's do this little rate. Thanks everyone in the community for being there on the chat, just being awesome and being a good company, because if we made this and if it was just us talking between ourselves, it wouldn't be as fun as having you guys over here and seeing your feedback and seeing your gratitude on the effort we put on this little show. So thanks to you. And I don't know, Mr. X, if you have anything else to share before we head off.
Thank you to the audience, and also thank you, Kid Pochoclo, for being such a great moderator of GSG Talk, because it's much more work than what people see in the stream. So thank you for that. Also, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, everybody, let's see you on the other side. Bye-bye.